every time I look at this image, I think my mind races back to that interview where Mr. Cosby's wife was sitting right next to him, and the reporter brought up the allegations of Andrea Kunstein, and I remember Mr. Cosby saying, "No, we don't talk about that." And the reporter kept pushing, and Mrs. Cosby was right there defending her husband. And the media took that as if Cosby was being arrogant or being evasive. And nobody ever thought to think that maybe because he probably didn't do something, his lawyers said don't bring it up, or he just didn't do anything and he didn't want to go there. But the media attacked this man, and then they knew to get us from not supporting Bill Cosby, they had to go back and say, well, he lectured you. He lectured you. And then the Negroes that are now defending Oprah are the same ones that attacked Bill Cosby. And them same black folk turn around and lecture us when we decide that we're not going to take it anymore. Your Roland Martins, your Oprah Winfrey, your Gayle Kings, your Dr. Boyce Watkins. I mean, not Dr. Boyce Watkins, Michael Eric Dyson, excuse me. Well, you know what? Let me take that back. Boyce Watkins did join in the attacks on Cosby. And many others. There's some YouTubers out here who do commentaries who jumped in on Bill Cosby. We got to be honest. Only a handful of us has stayed on the path saying, yo, you guys are not paying attention. Cosby didn't do what they accused him of. And all the evidence is red in our face, just like Michael Jackson. But what happens is when white folk get involved into the conversation, they go nonstop. They go all out, and they go out and they make sure they put images up or take things out of the context. Now, y'all see Bill Cosby now as an older man, and they say he lost weight since he's been in jail. And I can just imagine how much weight the man has lost because he's not getting a proper diet. He doesn't go see his personal physician. He's in jail when you got all these other cats that have been caught red-handed or been accused for years, not in jail. R. Kelly shouldn't be in jail. But what happened is the media paints these stories or put out these talking points, and we in the black community, we either get scared or embarrassed, or we can't decipher between what's real and what's not. Now, I never met Mr. Cosby. Never met him. Don't know if I ever will meet him. But I know enough of Mr. Cosby to say, yo, there's no way in hell a brother 1960s, 70s America can get away doing what they said he did. Bill Cosby was calling out racism in the 60s. A lot of y'all never watched, don't know the show I Spy with his former co-star, the late Robert Culp. Bill Cosby was supposed to be Robert Culp's tennis instructor. That was the cover. Ordered from the Go on Missions. They was supposed to be he's supposed to be the tennis instructor, and Robert Culp was the tennis player, right? And they were both spies. And what happened was Bill Cosby had to do some stunts that was too risky for him, or he couldn't perform. And what they did was they got a white actor, put a bad wig on him, and painted his face black. And Bill Cosby stopped them with mid-production. He said, wait a minute. He went, wait a minute. He said, no, that's not going to work. He said, get a black stuntman. He said, get a black stuntman, or he wasn't working anymore. Now, remind you, back in the 1960s, it wasn't no TV shows where black men was on there that were playing spies and not playing the buffoon. You know, we talk about the late dying Carol and Julia, but y'all never mentioned Cosby in the 1960s. Even before Cosby had his trouble, they barely talked about Cosby when I Spy being groundbreaking. Oh yeah, we're talking about Cindy Poitier in the movies, but on TV, a weekly TV show, Cosby was the man. Cosby is the reason why you got black stuntmen and stunt women. But what did they do when Cosby just got accused? They turned their back on Cosby. All the black folk that were going to the award shows talking about, hey, go Bill Cosby, go Bill Cosby. When white Hollywood turned their back on, they turned their back on Bill Cosby, forgetting that Mr. Cosby, if y'all go back and look at the clips on YouTube, 1967, Cosby's talking about racism. And in 1960s, that was dangerous for a black man, especially if his popularity to be out the time about racism, calling out white folk on right to their face. He was still in these talk shows and call him out, and he was so popular, and people liked him. He hosted the Tonight Show. Cosby kicked down doors, and y'all think that he's just a comic. No, the man is not dumb. This man and his wife was giving money back in the day before it was fashionable. This man was doing documentaries and talking about things. I remember in school watching him narrate stories and stuff. And this was in the early 80s when I was in kindergarten and first grade. That's why when he came back to television, the Cosby Show blew up because people wanted to see what Bill Cosby did. Bill Cosby said, I want to do a show that showed the other side of black life. Because we got used to seeing the Sanford and Sons and the Good Times and shows like that. We thought that's how all black Americans live. A lot of us came from two-parent households. A lot of us knew who our grandmothers and our uncles were. A lot of us lived on a block where we saw nothing but black men, the fathers. We saw uncles. Every summer we would have get-togethers and family reunions and things of that nature. We had black professionals. We had black lawyers and black doctors. But what happened was when Bill Cosby bought the television, a lot of people didn't like that. And we got to be honest, there's an element in black America who don't like the fact that some of us have listened and paid attention to what's going around us, and we said, you're not going to stop us, so we push forward. Some of our brothers and sisters who gave up or didn't want to put forth the effort are mad because we're not sticking around with them and blaming everything on the man. We know racism exists, but we know that we just can't stand around hoping one day that something's going to fall out of the sky and endow us with powers or riches and stuff. And that don't work that way. A lot of people, I remember when I was growing up, people used to crack on the kids in the neighborhood I lived in. With, if those kids that was moving into the community, when everybody was running out of the community or moving into better communities and stuff, or the neighborhood was going through flux. I remember when I was in school, the kids that grew up in households that wasn't together or didn't have that male figure, or the mother didn't give a damn, we got cracked on. Y'all think y'all like to cut the Huxtables. That's all I heard from grammar school into high school. I wasn't the only kid that got accused of that, but when my father and mother came around and would pick us up from school, or even my father and mother would pick me and my brother from work every now and then because the area was changing. Y'all mama's boys. I'm like, mama's boys? Why would you say that? Well, your mom, I said, guess what? My mother ain't doing it for free. We gotta put gas in the car. My parents don't want us to get caught up in anything. I remember my cousin ex-spouse family. One day, my aunt and them was giving my cousin a baby shower. And it was me and other members of the family. And we was helping put stuff away, clean up. And her sister-in-law, then sister-in-law, said, most people just get a plate and go away. And I said, wow, that's rude. Y'all always throwing parties and doing stuff for each other. I'm like, that's what family's for. She said, y'all like the Huxtables. And I stopped and I said, you're a grown-ass woman. And I said, y'all still in that Bill Cosby Huxtable shit. And it wasn't just the Huxtable, but because Cosby was the most popular. I mean, they used to give grief about family matters. And white folk heard that. This is why when you see TV shows of black families, the father either he left the family, playing into these stereotypes. And Cosby didn't want that. And Cosby warned us years ago. Sherazade Ali warned us years ago. Stop playing into these stereotypes. Have some standards for yourself. We sit back as black Americans and let everybody project their stereotypes or their faults on us. And for the last 30 years, it seemed like we've been embracing this and we're paying for it today. When I watch the news, I cringe at some of the news stories. I watch certain videos on the internet and I cringe at some of the images. You got black females out here every week is a video of them fighting over something stupid. You got young brothers out here robbing, smashing, grab, stealing cars. Then when they get caught by the police and the police put their foot in their ass, it's police brutality. It's police brutality. And those of us y'all know that these people have an ideal about us. Don't feed into that. Don't give them power over you. Every time I walk out my front door, I'm confronted by racism. And I know some of y'all dismissive of it. See, y'all be waiting to hear the word nigger. Y'all be waiting to see a certain article of clothes or a sign. No, it's subtle. And sometimes it's blatant. But I keep moving. You keep moving. Because they want you to get into the fetal position and go, oh, why they don't like us? But there are brothers and sisters that went out there, put their necks on the line, and open up doors for us, and we too stupid to go in and say, you know what? I'm gonna try to get as many of us in here while we can. Because every day they come up with new techniques to try to push us back. Don't think that they ain't trying to put us in bondage. If they could put us back in bondage or exterminate us, they would do it in a heartbeat. Bill Cosby was talking about this stuff on TV. Back at a time when it could have cost him his life or his livelihood. But what did we do? We let some talking heads, we let some unscrupulous Negroes in our community who figured, I went to this university, I was part of this fraternity, I was part of this sorority. I work for this newspaper, I work for this magazine, I work at this television station. I know more than you. Bill Cosby is just a comic. This man had made enough money where he can give money away to universities and different schools to keep them going and still have enough money to want to go buy a network. General Electric was looking for somebody to buy the NBC back in the 80s and 90s. They didn't want to sell to Bill Cosby because they knew what kind of power that he would have amassed. They knew that would have been transferred to his son Ennis and his daughters and his grandchildren. You think about it. We're the only group of people who have a news outlet. And I know people are going to say, well, Harvey, they're making a new black news channel called the Black News Channel. But it's not airing everywhere. CNN is everywhere. Fox is everywhere. MSNBC is everywhere. CBS, ABC, NBC is everywhere. Even Sinclair Broadcasting, Nexstar, all them companies are everywhere. Disney, everywhere. Well, Disney on ABC, but you know what I mean. Even the so-called black ran news websites and news, those are not owned by us. This is why you hear those of us in new black media talk about what we got to do. This is why we come out and give out daily commentaries or reports and talk about what's going on around us. Because it's a need for news in our community. But the one brother that was trying to get us out there to focus, we turned on him. Y'all was talking about what Bill Cosby should have did this and did that. Did anybody ever write a letter to Mr. Cosby? Did anybody meet Mr. Cosby and say, Mr. Cosby, we know you're a busy man. We know you did put in the work. But I have a proposition, a business proposition, that if he turned it down and say he don't want to do it, that's within his right. Because he did what he's supposed to do for a man his age. Bill Cosby old enough to be my father or grandfather. I don't know how you want to look at it. More than likely grandfather. Or my father, depending on when the last time. No, because this child, got a child that's the same age as me, so he could be my father. Mr. Cosby buried a son in the 90s. Don't you think that took a toll on Mr. Cosby and his wife? More so, Mr. Cosby, that was his only son. That was going to continue his name. Yeah, his daughters may carry the Cosby name, but technically, when they have children, they're not going to be Cosbys in the traditional sense. I want you to think about this for a second. Did y'all ever think that Bill Cosby's son was murdered under questionable circumstances? Out of all the people, his son was the one that got killed in that road. A lot of people theorized that was a hit to shut Cosby up because back in the 90s, Cosby was talking about HIV being man-made, being created in a lab. I remember he was on Today's Show. Bryant Gumbel and them was dismissive of Bill Cosby. It should be on YouTube. See, a lot of y'all, that Michael Eric Dyson and Roland Martin and the rest of these fools out here like Wendy Williams and D.L. Hughley tell y'all that Cosby was anti-black or Cosby was talking down to black comics. I got a question. When you look back all these Negroes that criticize Cosby, what have they done for the community? Seriously, what have they done for our community? What have they done besides tell crass jokes and we go out there and support them and they have nothing to do with us? Eddie Murphy don't come into the community talking to us. Wendy Williams sit down and insult the black community every chance she get. D.L. Hughley goes on TV and tell the same lame jokes over and over again. But what did he go? Well, I got a charity. Where your charity at? If you only on one part of the nation, then you really don't have a charity. You got a tax write-off. Now people say it's the same thing. No. Mr. Cosby made sure when he came to Chicago, there was things set up. When he was in New York, when he was in California, when he was in his whole town. But a lot of us seem to forget that history because the white media has a narrative. Paint Bill Cosby as a predator. And you got a lot of brothers and sisters under 35 who bought it. I mean, yeah, some people my age and older, but especially young ones, they bought into, they believe everything the media says. Me, Nicole, and a few others out here been a constant presence telling y'all, look, y'all not paying attention. Now all of a sudden y'all saying, man, Bill Cosby's in jail. R. Kelly's in jail. What about the rest of them? And I told y'all, I said, they're going to turn around, put it on us. I said, let's not fall for it. Hannibal Buress, Kenan Thompson, Don Lemon, Michael Eric Dyson, and a few others, but those are the cats that helped lead, and Wendy Williams helped lead that charge against Bill Cosby. If Oprah Winfrey would have came out like she did for Gayle King, said, wait a minute, let him have a proper legal, let's not convict him in court of public opinion, people would have paused a little different. She didn't. But what get me is you got black men that turned on Cosby publicly. Y'all see every time Vlad do an interview, some black person just throw Cosby on the bus, and these black men who are all jealous that they don't have Cosby money. They figured they could be the next big thing since Cosby out of the way. John Witherspoon talked shit about Cosby last year, didn't make it out of the year. Earthquake. Who we know about Earthquake, but who outside the community saying, oh, we gotta go get Earthquake, put him in a TV show and the movie? George Wallace still telling the same tired ass joke. And then I'm friends with Jerry Seinfeld. I'm friends with Jerry Seinfeld. Ain't nobody calling him for TV too much. The last thing he did was what? I'll wait for it. The black men and women that did defend Cosby, the media tried to vilify them. Y'all seen this weekend how the media and certain blacks came out to go after Snoop Dogg. Those are the same people that threw Reverend Wright under the bus. Those are the same people that talk shit about Farrakhan when they get around white folk. Those are the same people talk about Reverend Jackson when they get around white folk. But they have nothing to do with the black community. Look, those are the same people that came out, defended Jay-Z, and told us to stand down. And they wouldn't be where they are if it wasn't for people like you and I supporting them. White folks didn't support Roland Martin. It was black folks that supported Roland Martin. It was black folks that supported D.L. Hughley, Michael Eric Dyson, and the like. It was black folk that have been supporting Oprah Winfrey and them. And how did they betray the community? They decided you want to attack black men. I'm telling y'all, before y'all out here talk about Cosby, talking about comics, Eddie Murphy, what does he do with the black community? Go look at the movies he made when he was from the clumps, when he was in basically making mockery of black folk. When he did Shrek, when he did the donkey voice, he talked like this. That's that type of voice. When he could come up with some crazy voice. I mean, I could sit right here and come up, hey, I'm the donkey. But he go, I'm the donkey. Hey, Shrek, what you doing, man? Remember the PJs everybody was talking about? That I was embarrassed with stuff like that. I'm like, this is what you think of black America? It's funny, y'all sit back and embrace people that cater to stereotypes or are afraid to call out white supremacy, but the ones who have done it, y'all treat them like shit. 20 years from now, 30 years from now, somebody gonna be doing their research. They're gonna say, damn, they threw Mr. Cosby under the bus. They destroyed this man's reputation. Look what they doing to Malcolm X. Well, you know, Malcolm X, we think he was gay. Wow. Mr. Farrakhan, he's like Hitler. Really? You notice all the Negroes that are talking about defending Oprah and Gayle are the same ones that bashed Cosby and told us to stand down during the Obama years. I'm sorry, but I'm going to ride with Bill Cosby. I'm telling y'all, a lot of y'all was not paying attention. Y'all let Don Lemon send y'all. Now, mind you, Don Lemon was insulting the black community, and he turned around and joined forces to go after Cosby. Right then, that should have raised the red flag. Like, wait a minute. This dude was talking down Ferguson. He was talking about black folk in the negative. He was defending Bill O'Reilly. Now he went out there and threw Cosby on the bus. Right then, that should have made you pause. Kenan Thompson on SNL do skits making fun of black men and black women playing to stereotypes. All these people that he was on had some direct connection to Cosby or indirect turned on him. You had old girls walk around topless. She was cast on the Cosby Show. She belonged to a white feminist group. Cosby never did nothing to her. And then the women that did defend Bill Cosby, they was attacked. But I haven't seen y'all go after Scarlett Johansson or those white women defending Woody Allen and them. Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King showed they natural ass the last 2 or 3 years. Monique was telling y'all, and I said, if y'all don't listen to me warn you, these Monique will tell you, what do you mean Monique don't hang in the same circles? Y'all just miss Monique, she jealous. And then y'all went after her husband. But now, those of us who've been yelling for a number of years, we look like fucking geniuses and prophets now. But when somebody cut to my channel saying that Bill Cosby was guilty, either as a troll or a self-hating black or a racist white person. Because a lot of those women that came across and accused Cosby, stories didn't match up. Cosby wasn't even around them. And the media knew it. And they would not do a retraction. They said, everybody, we getting ratings. Y'all keep saying, where's this documentaries for Weinstein? If they did one, they ain't get no press. They supposedly did one for Allison Mack. They ain't get no press. They ain't act like Allison Mack don't even exist anymore. Bryan Singer, Roman for years, be having inappropriate contact. Look what they did to Corey Feldman. They didn't even listen to him. They want him to lie on Michael Jackson. Then when they came out with Oprah and Corey said, maybe if I do say Michael did something, or he could be guilty, they would take me serious. Still ain't take him serious. But he went out there and threw Michael under the bus. If you notice, all the well-known straight black men who had money, who had worldwide influence, Cosby's known all around the globe. R. Kelly, Prince, Michael Jackson, you'd be surprised when they know outside the confines of America, they're dangerous. Oprah mentioned Bill Cosby's name the other day. She did it on purpose because she knew that's a trigger. She brought up the word misogyny. She knew that's a trigger. And you saw the media working overtime this weekend. Usually Friday's a news dump day. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, nobody's talking about what's going on. They didn't even talk about the politics this weekend barely, except for the Sunday morning shows. But yesterday, Joy Reid mentioned Tiffany Cross in there, and she mentioned Snoop Dogg and wife. Well, yeah, we know nobody knows to go against Oprah. They all Melissa Harris Perry. And the rest, they have put this man in jail. But when it came out that Touré was doing dirt, you didn't hear nothing come from MSNBC or CNN. And Touré was taking a victory lap. These are the same fools out here defending Gayle King today. So that should tell y'all something. You and I got ears. We all know that Gayle was wrong, but she's being defended by the mainstream media. And then you got these handkerchief heads out defending. You sitting there like, wait a minute, Mark Lamont Hill threw Cosby under the bus. Think about this for a second. Roland Martin threw Cosby and Nate Parker. Think about this right now. They just the same people threw Reverend Wright under the bus. And I'm like, y'all see it? So those of you who keep saying, why do I keep bringing up Cosby? Or why did Cosby butt into something? First of all, y'all gotta be stupid. Cosby ain't no way he's tweeting from jail. That was his spokesman, Mr. Wyatt. Or somebody a part of that his team. And for some of y'all, I did speak to Andrew Wyatt on thanks to Nicole Views, maybe about what, 4 months ago? About 4 months ago, if I'm not mistaken. I hate that. I really hate when the phone rings when I'm doing these commentaries. But the thing is that we as Black Americans have allowed white folk to manipulate us, and even some of our own people, into thinking the worst about each other. You got Black folk out here even dissing Dr. King in videos. And I ain't talking about the trolls. I'm talking about actual Black folk. It's like we've regressed as a people. And then when y'all realize, by the time y'all realize you done messed up, y'all look for people like us to be the leaders again, or go out there and take the slings and arrows. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. It's gonna come a day where those of us new Black media said we done all we can good. We didn't sit there and begged our people to pay attention and think first. Stop being so damn emotional. Stop letting people manipulate you. Stop letting people separate you from your money. This weekend, people was just talking about Bill Cosby like a dog. And I'm sitting like, this man ain't did nothing to our people. But then I thought about it, and I said, these people who said Cosby's lectioners, half of them wasn't even in comics yet. Ari Spears, all of them, all these people just threw Cosby under the bus. Yeah, Cosby, he was doing this. But y'all be the first ones to say, when y'all family members or y'all get in trouble, I'm innocent. I'm innocent. So why have we allowed the same thing for this brother? See, a lot of y'all don't know your history. This is why I say history is important. Because a lot of y'all wouldn't be saying this if y'all knew what those of us who've been paying attention know about this man. I'm pretty sure Camille Cosby sitting at home thinking that my husband and I donated so much money to Black causes. All we wanted to uplift our people. And when he needed help, we turned on him. And y'all don't realize what you're doing. You're creating a climate in our community where a brother and sister say, man, I ain't sticking my neck out for y'all. Y'all turn on us too fast. All the Negroes that have been out here talking this weekend haven't said a damn thing for us. Susan Rice worked at the Obama administration. We know how the Obama administration got down. And y'all lumping Eric Holder into Eric Holder is not he was worked the Obama administration, but Valerie Jarrett, Susan Rice and them was whispering in Obama ear. David Plouffe and David Axelrod and them. Susan Rice had that kind of heat for them white folk was giving her a hard time, or when they was out there shooting black folk down. We was told to stand down, don't do anything rash. We went after the wrong people, and this. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. The way I'm kind of glad this happened the way it is, cause some of y'all starting to see it. I'm reading the comment section now. Like they said, "Damn, Harvey, you and the others, y'all was right." Sometimes it's something got to smack you dab in the face, and if Kobe had to be the catalyst, hey, that's what God wanted. I'm not saying that he needed to die, but it just maybe he had to be that catalyst. Maybe he needed to be that spark for y'all to see that even they don't respect us in death. Some I've been saying in videos way before Kobe and his daughter perished. Eddie Griffin said, he said, we don't leave here clean. White women started this whole thing back up, and Gail thought she gonna pull it because she got away with R. Kelly. Gail them talk about Cosby every rip. But when she go back and look at the clips when she talk about Charlie Rose and her and Oprah, it's a different tone. When Scarlett Johansson talk about Woody Allen and them, it's a different tone. Now the thing is, I had to be careful what I say, because somebody try to twist my words and interpret it as a threat. That's why I told y'all we gotta be careful what we say on social media. Because I knew when Snoop did what he did, I said they're gonna interpret it, they're gonna reinterpret it, and I told you white folk gonna get involved in it. And right then and there, black folks, she said, why y'all getting involved in this conversation? Why y'all out here got the cape on for Gail and Oprah? You know why? Because Oprah and Gail do their dirty work. Oprah and Gail got their little minions out here. One of these days, you Negroes like Roland Martin, Mark Lamont Hill, and Karen Hunter and them, when y'all get your nigga money, y'all can run back to the black community, try to pull that black card out. And we're going to say, nah, not this time. Karma going to come back on y'all, whether y'all, and sooner or later. Trust and believe.